All right, so we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin dominance because we know that this is always very important to keep track of. Okay, it is no coincidence, guys, that all of these altcoins have been going crazy since Bitcoin dominance has been dropping. Okay, ever since we started dropping from 47 down to 44, ever since we did this drop, the altcoins have been going crazy. All right. So remember, we always talk about that. Keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance. It'll often give you an indicator when's a good time to shift back into Bitcoin or when's a good time to stay in the alts. So that would explain kind of what's been happening. Now, is Bitcoin done with its run? I don't know. We're still kind of expecting Bitcoin to come back up to test this previous high. But once again, we keep track of what's going on in the charts. Now, Bitcoin, in terms of the dominance, right? We had this this rising wedge happening here, okay? And we broke down through that rising wedge. And of course, normally when that happens, the technical target is at the bottom of the wedge, which might be a teeny bit further down to 43.46 if it actually completes that move. But as you can see, we really completed most of it and we came down about 7%. So just that 7% in the candles, but in terms of the Bitcoin dominance from 47.51, yeah, 7%. All right, so we came down just 7.5%, and the altcoin market went crazy, right? So keep an eye on that. If Bitcoin starts to recover and starts to make its way back up, then for the short-term traders, it may be time to go back into Bitcoin for a bit, right? But there are some big moves happening all over the place, obviously. Let's take a look at Bitcoin itself. Okay, now we can see that we're just extending this zone here, right? So this zone is still acting as support. That's a good thing. Now we got to watch out that this is not like a big head and shoulders pattern right here. Because if this was a head and shoulders pattern that actually was going to play out, then this head and shoulders pattern would have a technical target of down here like 52,000, right? Which coincides with this neckline right here, which we never really came down and settled down on properly in terms of support, 53,000. And from here, that would be a drop of about 11% for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops 11%, you better be sure that most altcoins will drop further than that. But that's if this isn't actually, just a big head and shoulders pattern right here. If that plays out, who knows? As you can see, we've stuck our necks inside of this, what was a previous resistance box. So far, it's holding us support. This is, it's kind of looking like it's trying to break its way down, right? Let's look in the bottom here. You see where it's like we're doing W's, like we're trying to come up. You see the curve is at the bottom, whereas up here, the curves are at the top. It's going up and coming down, going up and coming down, going up and coming down. That usually is a bit bearish, right? So Bitcoin has been dropping, ever since it announced about the ETF, 66, pretty much down 10% right now. Down 10%. Long term, no worries, no big deal. Keep buying, okay? Because you know where it's ultimately going. But anyway, so that's what we're looking out for in terms of Bitcoin dominance. We talked about Jasmy a few days ago, right? And look at Jasmy. I mean, Jasmy went up like, whoa. It was somewhere around here when I did the video about 8 8.8 cents. It rallied, holy cow, 50%. It went up to 13 cents. And of course, since then, plummeted back down, which would have been a good buying opportunity because we broke out of this pattern, right? Things have a habit of when a pattern is formed, it makes a big move and then it'll usually come back down to the bottom of that pattern to confirm support from the breakout. And as you can see, we did confirm support here. So after dipping 32%, look at it. Now we're back up 33%. So, I just looking, let's look in the broad term. I like to see things in the big picture. So we talked about Jasmy making this move. Look at this, guys. Now, I did this video and I said that the technical target was about 14.5 cents. We came all the way up to 13.6 cents. So very close to the technical target of this move, right? Very close, guys. We are outside of the Bollinger Bands right now. We are outside of the Bollinger Bands. So we could use and this is what I'm talking about, an overall kind of, short-term dip for the market kind of to cool off because of how things have been going. But this is what I was talking about here because we're outside of the Bollinger Bands. We wicked up twice. Looks like we could use a little bit of a correction, maybe to come back down. Because since we've broken out from above this level, we haven't come back down here yet, right? To confirm support above this 9.5 cent level. So, is that what Jasmy is going to do right now? One way to find out, and I'm sure we're going to find out soon. But ultimately, there's still some good strength going on here from Jasmy. On the RSI, we are in overbought territory. So we're up at 77 on the daily. On the weekly, still can't get any proper. Trying to look for some data off of the weekly here. Okay. So can't get that much data off of the weekly. I guess the coin is still a little bit too young. But like I said, normally when we get, that far out of the Bollinger Bands, we normally need to come back down a little bit. So keep your eyes out, especially for some bearish divergence. All right, so we went high, very high up here. We came up to the same height. We formed a lower high, so that's something to watch out for. That's why I said it could have a little cool down coming. So let's just keep an eye on that. If we do, then a good buyback in. I guess you could look anywhere from, on the short term time frame, we came back here. So if it was to continue cooling down, we might come a bit further. We might come back down to 9 cents. But there's no telling for sure, right? So let's watch out for that. Those that are, once again, if you're thinking long-term trade, guys, then you have no concerns whatsoever because you're looking for an overall much bigger run from Jasmy, right? Look at this. This is what you're talking about. You're talking about the run, catching this run back up here. I mean, look, these are weekly candles, all red, all, not a single green candle. So for something to fall that hard, I mean, wow. We gotta, usually we'd come back up at least, to be honest, like to the 0.38, in my opinion. So for starters, the 0.23, which is 70 cents, that's still 700% away from where we are right now. So, overall, holding Jasmine, like I said, buying anytime around here based on a 90 something percent retracement, this is just a good time to buy. It's still a good time to buy. Even if it ends up dipping back a little bit more, look at where we're buying. We're buying at the bottom, guys. We are buying at the bottom. This is where you want to buy. It's been down here since June, right? We are now in October, the end of October. So almost 5 months it's been down here, consolidating, now ready to make its push up. So watch out for that with Jasmine, right? CRV, when I did the video on CRV was at about $2.96. And we see right now, again, very high out of the Bollinger Bands, but went from $2.96 all the way up to $5.31, right? So since I posted that video, that was 77% gains, guys. 77% gains. Jasmine was over 50% gains. CRV over 77% gains. FTM was another I told you to watch out for, right? Look at FTM. I mean, insane. When I did the video, I think FTM was somewhere around 250 or something like that. Maybe around 250. So about at least a 46% gain since I posted about it. Now is not the time to buy FTM, guys. I'm going to be real with you. It is absolutely not the time to buy FTM. You got to wait for a pullback at this point in time. If you're a short-term trader, I mean, if you don't care, if you want to hold FTM for a couple of years, then you might say, okay, then who cares? But if you're a swing trader, etc., and you're looking to get in this short term for some gains, this is not the time to buy. Not on a candle like this. If you turn on the Bollinger Bands and wait for it to come back down to touch this median, that will be the time to buy. Let me show you another example. Elastos, right? Those of you that may have missed this, look at this pump that happened today, over the last 2 days, right? Elastos went from $4.37 all the way up to $6.86 for a 60% gain in 1 day, right? 60% gains in 1 day. But again, look at how far out of the Bollinger Bands we went. What did it do? It had to come back into the Bollinger Bands. See, now here we are, we're inside. We're back inside the Bollinger Bands. Something that abrupt that pushes up like that, we might even come all the way back down to $4.30. Who knows? Treat every dip as a buying opportunity because Elastos has a long way up to go. Those two big wicks, wow. That is short term, not cute. It's not a cute thing to see. Short term, not a cute thing to see. Got to be real with you. Got to be real with you. But long term, we're looking at something much bigger. So we came in almost kind of, this is like a big cup. And I don't know, this is like another cup. Can't even call that a handle because it's that in itself is pretty big as well. But Elastos still just has tons of room to the upside, guys. Again, this is where you want to be buying the coin. Look at this coin. It's starting to make its move. Where was Elastos? All-time high $76. It's at $5 right now, guys. $5. Still 15x away in USD. and it's even further away in BTC. Again, I'm telling you, watch out for Elastos. It's gonna pop. It's gonna pop big. All right. So I mean, again, as you can see, and okay, so on the weekly, we're still very far down. We're in safe territory. In the daily and the weekly, we're in very safe territory. Nowhere near overbought or anything like that. Um, let's double check Phantom again. Where are we? So on the daily, we're in overbought territory. This is now the second lower high. We're experiencing some divergence here, which means a dip is coming. That's what it means. Okay. So we've gotten this high, another high, and another higher high. We have two higher highs. But on the RSI on the daily, we have two lower highs. So watch out for that, right? Means a dip is coming. So anyway, watch out for it. That's FTM. Fetch was another that we talked about. Fetch looking like it actually wants to break up here. I mean, if you look at what's been going on from here, right? Let me draw this out. So we got this formation right here on fetch, and again, if we break out of this target, if we break out of this formation, technical target, usually back up to the top here. So $1.19. Can we break out and stay out? It looks like we're trying to break out of this pattern, right? If we do, technical target, we're looking back up here between $1.12 and $1.18, right? So again, fetch looking pretty strong. VRA, of course, looking as strong as ever. As you can see here, again, filled my technical targets, guys. Filled my technical targets. Here we are again, almost right to the tip of this technical target. And VRA, again, is also in overbought territory on the daily. Massive overbought territory on the 4-hour. We need a cool down. That's what that says. We need a cool down. That's what it says. I'm just telling you, that's what it says. We need a cool down. So let's see if it'll try to come back up one more time or two. But like I said, usually at that point, I would look for a re-entry position, either at the median of the Bollinger Bands in that case. But Veracity has been doing fantastic. So we hit this technical target the first time. The bigger technical target is even higher, right? We were looking at 8.8 cents and it went to 8.5 cents. So very close to my technical target here, actually, coming out of this. So we might get a little bit of a cool down. Watch out for it. Again, long-term holder, no issue. This is really just for people who may be looking for some short-term trades. All right. So look out for that, guys. Overall, like I said, a lot of coins have made massive moves. So it's not uncommon to get a little bit of a cool down before we can continue to move back up. But pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance. Hope you guys like this analysis. Until next time, guys, take care.